All right, good morning, everybody. Happy Thursday. Hopefully, you're having a great day. We've got, 9 MLB games today. So we've got a doubleheader between the Royals and the Rockies that got rained out yesterday. So we're going to talk about every game, and I am going to give you my 7 best bets. So we're going to do a little bit of a ladder today. All right, let's talk about yesterday. We went 3-2, up 0.63 units. Padres team total over 3.5. They sucked. Bad read there. Bryce Elder under 4.5 Ks. That was stupid. Sweat free. Reds and Marlins nerfy. GG. That didn't go well. Nationals first 5. I wouldn't say sweat free, but it was fairly sweat free. It ended up being 3-1 Nats in the first 5, and Zach Wheeler over 4.5 hits. We cashed that. I think we cashed that in the 5th, so it wasn't too sweaty whatsoever. So that was nice. So 3-2 day, we'll take that. Good bounce back day. All right, let's get into this card. First game is going to be the White Sox and the Twins at 1:10 p.m. We got a 6-mile-an-hour wind blowing in from left field. It's going to be cold, 45 degrees, high humidity, and high pressure. So not a great day for carry. At this value, minus 238, given the weather conditions, I can't take the Twins run line. It's the only way you're going to find value. That said, splits look terrible. I don't think the White Sox are able to do anything, and I think there's a slight advantage towards Minnesota. I would just lean towards the under 8 in this one, honestly. You got two pretty inefficient offenses, and Shane Smith's actually pitched really well this season, giving up a 143 average to lefties, 194 to righties. Hard hit percentage is a little high, but I think the weather kind of negates that. On the other side, you got Paddock, little spotty. And honestly, this is the White Sox team that absolutely destroyed him and put up 9 runs. So I'm just not comfortable going back to the well here and trusting the Twins at minus 1.5. So best bet would actually be the under 8 just due to the weather. But this is a no play for me in this game. All right, next one is going to be the Mariners and the Red Sox. Should be a good pitching battle. We got Brian Wu going up against Garrett Crochet. Crochet giving up a 168 opponent average. Brian Wu, 214. Wu definitely weaker against lefties, giving up a 234 average as opposed to about a 200 average to righties. Hard hit percentage is a lot higher this year than it was last year. So a little bit concerning. On the other side with Crochet, very limited numbers against lefties, but he has not given up a hit against a lefty. Obviously, you stack the righties against Crochet, but he's only given up a 194 average to righties, and his hard hit percentage is fairly low. This is clearly a Red Sox spot, but at minus 180, there's just not a lot of value. We got a 5-mile-an-hour wind slightly blowing in. It's going to be 64 degrees with low humidity and high pressure. So not a good day for carry, but I do think it's a good day for singles, doubles. Runs really shouldn't be impacted too much. That's why we see an 8.5 with 2 pretty plus pitchers here. My best bet is going to be the first 5 under 4.5. So that is one of our official plays today. Just 2 good pitchers. Let's take the bullpens out of the equation because I really don't trust the Red Sox bullpen, which is another reason I just don't know if I can get down with that minus 180 price here. I don't mind the full game under, but again, bullpens, in my opinion, are a little sketch. All right, next play. This is where we have the bulk of our plays, guys. This is what we're targeting today. This is the Rockies and the Royals. Cole Reagans going up against Jermaine Marquez. This is one where Marquez should get absolutely hit all around the yard, even against this Kansas City team that's been very offensively challenged, we'll say. If we look at Marquez, 300 average to lefties, 361 to righties, very high hard hit percentage. We look at Reagans. He's been pitching outstanding this year. Obviously, his last start wasn't great, but we're talking about a significantly better team. So I do love him to have an absolute bounce back of a day. If we look at the numbers, I mean, everybody's a negative WRC. So really good spot here. And on the flip side, every single Royals player has a plus runs created stat. Really good spot here. So we are going to take the Royals to just absolutely dominate. If we look at lefties versus Colorado, you got to figure offensively, this is one of the worst teams. K percentages are through the roof. We just watched Bubik throw a 7-inning, 4-hit, no earned run gem. Before that, Mackenzie Gore went 6 innings, gave up 2 earned runs. Kyle Hart, who's been terrible, went 6 innings, no earned runs. Tyler Alexander from Milwaukee. It's only really, they got to him a little bit, but that's it. Sanchez, 5.1 innings, 4 hits, 1 earned run. So love this spot here with the Royals ace on the bump. We are going to take a ladder here. So we'll talk a little bit more about that, but I also do like Marquez under 3.5 Ks. You can get that on FanDuel right now for the best price. Love that spot here. So this is the game we're definitely targeting today. Next one is going to be the Brew Crew and the Giants. Landon Roop going up against Tobias Myers. Tobias Myers making his season debut today. We got a 14-mile-an-hour wind blowing straight out to center field. It's going to be 50 degrees, so a little on the chilly side. We do have high humidity and mid pressure, so the 7.5 scares me a little bit. But if we look at yesterday, 2 really good pitchers, and they got to 6 runs. So kind of want to lean towards the over, but I like the spot for the Giants. So give me the Giants on the money line here. You can get minus 134 on FanDuel. Our best bet here is we are going to pair that with the Royals game 1 money line to get plus money. So that is going to be one of our official plays as well. It's like plus 147, I believe, you combine the two. So that's where we're at there. Next game, Orioles and the Nats. This is one we've got a massive advantage. We got a lefty going up against the Orioles, and we have seen how that goes. And that story just doesn't go well. Actually, you know what? We got the doubleheader first, sorry, but that's going to be Lorenzen against Dollander. Not playing anything until I see what happens, but sharp lean towards the over 8.5 in that game. All right, so in the O's game, it's Mackenzie Gore. He's been striking out people at an insane clip, 38% K rate, going up against Cade Povich, who is giving up an opponent average of 370, ERA of 6.38, against an Orioles team that is the worst left-handed hitting team in the league. So we're running it right back. Nats first 5 minus 120 as my best bet. So I do like the Nats to absolutely go to town here. Just want to do first 5 because it scares me once we get to that bullpen. This bullpen Nats bullpen is one of the worst in baseball. So let's take them out of the equation. They almost blew the game last night. So let's just focus on Gore and Povich, where we have a massive advantage here, both offensively and defensively towards the Nats, considering it's a lefty. So Nats first 5. Do have a lean towards the under 9 as well in this game. All right, next one's going to be the Pirates and the Angels. Pirates got the job done yesterday. They've got Carmen Mlodzinski going up against Tyler Anderson, the lefty. Pirates lefty splits aren't great. That said, Angels really can't hit the broadside of a barn, so can't say I have a lot of confidence in them at a price this high. So I would still probably lean Pirates in this one, but not a game I really want to touch, to be honest. I mean, I think the Angels bounce back and get the win, especially with Anderson on the bump. I just don't have a lot of faith in this Angels offense at the moment. It's going to be 7-mile-an-hour breeze blowing out to center, 59 degrees, mid-humidity and pressure. I think the over 8.5 is live. If it wasn't a lefty, I just can't get behind Pittsburgh versus a decent lefty. Anderson having a good season, 2-0 with a 147 opponent average, 2.08 ERA. So everything here screams fade Pittsburgh today. The only advantage is against lefties, limited sample size, but Anderson giving up a 350 average versus lefties, ridiculously low hard hit percentage. On the other side with Carmen Mlodzinski giving up a 351 opponent average, a 7.41 ERA, 395 average to lefties, 319 to righties. So, when you kind of go through that, there's just no angle where you really say, yeah, Pittsburgh has an advantage, because they absolutely do not. So it's one of those you could take Angels first 5 minus a half. I think that's good. You're isolating the pitchers. In terms of the bullpen, Angels bullpen's not great. Pittsburgh's bullpen's not great, but Angels is actually worse. So if you're going to play it in order to find value, it's got to be Angels first 5 minus a half a run. Not sure if I can get there with that, but we'll see. All right, next one is going to be the Rays and the D-backs. Interesting game last night that went into extras. You got Corbin Burns on the hill for the D-backs going up against Drew Rasmussen. Rasmussen, Yankees got to him a little bit, but really the only team that's gotten to him. That said, every start's been at home, hasn't really faced crazy good teams. So I would tell you his pitch splits don't look great today. D-backs hit all of his pitches very, very well. He's a fastball cutter guy, which the D-backs love. On the other side with Corbin Burns, not exactly an ideal start for Corbin Burns. He's yet to get a win. He's 0-1, 260 opponent average, 464 ERA, giving up a 250 average to lefties, 286 to righties. I think there's value taking the Rays at plus 114, even if it's just first five. We've just seen every team be able to get to Corbin Burns early. He's giving up 1, 2, 3 runs in those first couple of innings. So value here is taking the Rays at plus 114. We do have a 5-mile-an-hour wind blowing in directly from center field. It's going to be warm, 86 degrees, very, very low humidity, like 11%, and we have low pressure. So low pressure is good for carry. I do think we'll see runs in this one. I would kind of lean towards like a Rays team total over, Rays first five. I just think that's where the value's at here. I could see this being another tight game that goes into extras where it's like 4-4. So don't mind the over 8. I just really don't want to put my chips on the D-backs getting to Rasmussen. But that said, very susceptible bullpen for the Rays. So don't really mind the over in this one if you just want to kind of fade them. So over 8 at plus money, not a bad play. All right, last game on the card is going to be the Rangers and the Athletics. We got Jacob deGrom going up against JT Ginn, making his, I believe, third start. So he's 1-1 with a 231 opponent average. DeGrom 0-1 with a 203 average. My issue here is Corey Seager got placed on the IL. I just don't know offensively if I can trust this team. Pitch splits for Ginn look really good. Rangers are just struggling against a lot of pitches right now. Another team that's offensively challenged, which kind of makes me want to take an under. But in this park, Sutter Park, I just can't really get down with an under, to be honest with you. It's a very, very, very hittable field. In terms of the weather, we do have the wind blowing out. So we are going to have a 14-mile-an-hour wind blowing out. It's going to be about 54 degrees with high humidity and low pressure. That is not good. That makes me want to go over. So I'm very torn in this one. I have mixed feelings. I do think the A's are able to get to DeGrom slightly. That said, he's been susceptible to lefties, giving up a 250 average, but he's been fantastic against righties. Hard hit percentage has been very low, whereas Ginn giving up a 263 average to lefties, 200 to righties, and almost a 54% hard hit rate, which is very, very high. So a lot of pros and cons here, but I don't know if I can get behind this Rangers team. Has just been offensively struggling for a price of minus 155. Little too juicy for me. So to me, take the over. It's an over-under type of deal, but I'm just completely fading this game, to be honest. Don't see the value anywhere there. All right, let's get into our best bets, get you guys on your way. Appreciate you watching the channel. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. Fairly short video today. All right, first play on the card. We already talked about it. Nats first five. Lefty going up against the Orioles. System play until they show they can actually hit a lefty. Game one, we're going to do a ladder here. So we're going to do the Royals race to 4. This is going to be 1.25 units. So on the team, if you're not sure what a race to 4 is, essentially on DraftKings, you go to game props and it's on race to 4. So the Royals have to get to 4 runs before the Rockies. So we're going to ladder that. We're going to do the race to 4, race to 5, race to 6. You can see the increments or units go down. So we're going to do 3/4 of a unit on the race to 5. We're going to do a half a unit on the race to 6. Too good of an opportunity today. And then we're going to take Jermaine Marquez for the Rockies. We're going to fade him in game 1 to go under 3.5 Ks at minus 120. We're going to do the Mariners Red Sox first 5 under 4.5. And then we're going to do a little 2-leg parlay of the Giants to beat the Brewers and Kansas City to win game 1. So pair those together, you get plus 147. So those are the plays. Now, we are very Royals dependent today. It is not the most fantastic place to be, but we just have a significant pitching advantage. Offensively, they still have the advantage. So let's just dig into that. So those are the plays, guys. Appreciate you tuning in. Have a fantastic day, and I'll catch you in the next video.